Well, look, thanks all for coming, and let's talk about the election campaign and which bits have made an impression on you and which bits haven't, and where your thinking is now. And I think we should start with the issue of security and terror. It's obviously, sadly, dominated a lot of the campaign. I mean, maybe Samantha, start us off on, has it affected for you your view of the political parties? Has it had an effect on your thinking about this election?
It hasn't changed my thoughts on the political parties. They still remain as they were before.
It's made me undecided which way to go, because I want to feel safe on our streets. I want my children to be safe, and I want it to carry on being safe. And then obviously my children will have children. As it is now, I'm very uncertain that, well, we are unsafe.
If I asked you about who you blame, I mean, obviously we all blame the perpetrators of these attacks. Is there anyone else you blame? Are there people who think of, if you like, let the country down when it comes to security? Benji?
Yeah, personally, I think the government, really. The government let us down because, you know, currently it seems to be like divided communities. You know, it's supposed to be multicultural. And we are basically on paper, but in theory we're not. You know, all the communities are separate, and you know, if you're not together, you never are you going to, you know, be peaceful and be together. You know.
I think the security have let us down as well, because they knew, one of them in the London terrorist attack, they carried out the attack, and they could have done something about it, and they never did.
But has it affected your thinking about the political parties? Because it does bring it really close to home.
Yeah, I think it has, really, because I think Theresa May, I don't think, is doing herself any favours, and the things that she said, I know they're bringing things back, what she said previously about the police, but I don't think that's helping her at the moment.
As you think back to the Manchester attack or the London attack, is there anyone who comes to your mind who you think captured the moment, who spoke for the nation, who kind of gave the impression of leadership on the issue? Any?
I think Jeremy Corbyn did quite well with what he had to say, and I think what we need to do is we do need more police on the streets. They've been reduced. I mean, our local police station has been shut down here, so we've got no local police. If we do have an emergency, rather than wait a few minutes, we're waiting, you know, half an hour for something to be done.
One of the things that's often said about voters and terror attacks is that when they're thinking about security, they tend to perhaps think in more conservative, right-wing ways. If it's health, they tend to think in more left-wing ways. But is there anybody here who has felt more inclined to vote Conservative as a result of what's happened in this campaign? Any of you? Head shaking. No. How many of you would say you feel more inclined to vote Labour as a result of the terror attacks? Several of you. Right, I'd like to talk about leadership, because that's been quite a big issue in this campaign. Both parties made something of that. Who would like to say what the Tory slogan was relating to leadership in the earlier part of the campaign? If I say to you there was a sort of three-word slogan that the Tories were using a lot, do any of you know what I'm talking about? Roy, what?
Strong and stable.
Strong and stable. How many of you recognise those words as being used by the Conservative Party? Yeah, Samantha? No, Benji? No. Roy, did you hear them repeating it a lot? Because there were sometimes people saying, God, they've only got these three words.
Like, if you've got a parrot, the parrot would have been saying it. It was that often, it was saying it. I mean, I've never heard somebody say something so often.
It's there a lot, even when you go to watch a YouTube video. I'm sick of seeing Theresa May. I'm like, I just need to watch the music video. Yeah. She's there. And strong and stable. Okay, I get it.
No, I think the Jeremy Corbyn one stands out more. I think he's that for the many and not the few. I don't know how many times I've heard that, and he says that, doesn't he?
How many of the rest of you know that phrase, for the many, not the few?
Not to be honest, that one was getting a bit battered.
Yeah, that was, definitely.
For the many, not the few.
Yeah.
How many of you, show of hands, how many of you think strong and stable is a good way of describing Theresa May? How many of you don't think strong and stable is a good way of describing Theresa May? And we've got a couple of abstentions there. Fozia, why were you laughing when I said strong and stable?
I just find strong and stable, but not strong and stable with Theresa May, because obviously the policing costs. I think that's the number one issue. That I would personally have. We can't be strong and stable if we haven't got policing and we're not secure. We need to prevent all these terror attacks from happening.
None of you thought that Theresa May represents strength and stability? No? Roy, you weren't persuaded by the slogan?
No, I've never seen anybody so weak and feeble in my life.
I did think that she was quite clever to be asking for this election, because I thought she was in a really strong position to win. But as the time's gone on, I think that she could have shot herself in the foot if she's not careful.
What she shot herself in the foot on, Helen?
I think the serious events that have happened with the terrorism things and the policing, and the things that she's saying, and all that about the dementia, about the people's homes to be paid for the care, I don't think that's helped her at all.
It's kind of overshadowed the whole campaign, really.
Okay, so how many of you have seen your opinion of Theresa May go up during this election campaign? None of you. How many of you think your opinion of Theresa May has gone down during the election campaign? What about Jeremy Corbyn? How many of you think your opinion of Jeremy Corbyn has gone up during the election campaign? And Glenn, you're putting your hand up a little tentatively.
I wouldn't say it's gone up or down. I'm indecisive about him in general.
But it hasn't gone down?
It hasn't gone down.
How many of you think your opinion of Corbyn has gone down during the campaign? None of you. Okay, I'm going to read some words out. I want you to shout this one, okay? I want you all to shout simultaneously. You shout the name either Jeremy Corbyn or Theresa May. Just shout, okay? Which one looks more confident?
Jeremy Corbyn.
Which one looks more prime ministerial? Jeremy Corbyn. Which one looks more serious?
Theresa May.
Which one looks more competent?
Jeremy Corbyn.
Which one looks more compassionate?
Jeremy Corbyn.
Okay, so you're answering Jeremy Corbyn to most of those questions. I want to finish, and I want to ask you a question as we draw to a close. The choice you're facing, you've expressed the view, a lot of you, that it comes down to Labour-Tory. Other parties would beg to differ, I know, but it comes down to Labour-Tory is what some of you have said. How many of you think the choice you've got this time, it's a good choice? I mean, that it's a good election and that you've got a fair sort of selection of candidates and you pick one? And how many of you think it's a kind of, oh my goodness, it's a dilemma. You're picking the least bad rather than the most good. I mean, which way would you characterise this election? I'll just literally go around on whether you think it's an election where you're picking a good one or you're picking a least bad one. I'll start with you, Leslie. What do you think?
You've got to go with what's important to you. So the policies that Jeremy has and Theresa has, you go with which one are most important to you overall.
And how do you think you'll go?
I'm undecided.
Undecided. What about you, Helen?
I was definitely going to vote Tory, but I think as Theresa May has gone along, her campaign has kind of weakened. What I've seen Jeremy Corbyn get stronger, so that has made me waver a little bit. So now I'm a little bit undecided who I will vote for.
Mark, you've been... I wanted you to have the last word. Very, very Labour voter. You sort of come to this recently and you started quite...
Yeah. I'm sort of sitting on the fence, but from what I've heard, I think it's going towards more Labour.
Kind of settle on that. Roy, you are one of our Labour voters. Do you think this is an election where it's a choice, or is it a dilemma? Is it about the best, or is it the least worst?
I think it's a definite choice, and it's for people to do the new way or the old way. I mean, the old way has not been doing too well. Let's try a new way, a fresh start, and I'm voting Labour.
Fozia?
I think Labour are setting out all the things that are important to most people. NHS, education, policing. I think that's what we need to look at.
Better choice than last time when it was Cameron Miliband?
Oh, definitely. Much better.
Samantha?
Okay, yeah, really good election. Clear choice there. Mr Corbyn all the way. And a lot of optimism here and exciting times if, hopefully, he gets in.
Interesting. Okay, Glenn, one Tory voter last time, and you're... Where are you?
I'm still undecided. But the last time when it was Cameron and Miliband, it was a clear choice for me, which was Cameron, because he was a stronger person, a stronger leader. But this time, I'm going to wait till Thursday, I think, and just sort of choose at the last minute.
You've got quite a few undecided. You haven't got very long, guys.
Yeah,
you can have... And let's finish. Benji, what about you?
On paper, I don't think any of them are what you call standout leaders, you know. They're not like Barack Obama, you think, yeah, he's a leader. You know, on paper, I don't think they've got the minerals.
Yeah, and how do you think you'll go?
No, I'd rather not say.
You'd rather
not say.
Rather not say.